Hi everyone, how are you? Okay dears, this is Rana Sir. Welcome to our Rana Sir educational channel. Today I will talk on a topic that is new chapter of class 11 physics whose name is motion in a plane. So this chapter I am going to start now, so you concentrate on this live video from starting to end to develop good knowledge on this topic, that is motion in a plane. Here I will also explain the concept of projectile and circular motion. The concept of projectile and circular motion I will explain here in detail. Okay, so you concentrate on this live video for understanding these concept in detail. Okay students, simultaneously you also like this live video and also you share this live video with your colleagues, friends and students so that they can also update and develop their knowledge on these topics. Okay, next information I will also say to you to follow it, and you also subscribe this educational channel more and more, because this educational channel name is RANA SIR UP KUSHINAGAR. You follow it clearly, and also if you have any doubt, so you write your doubt in comment section. Positively I will explain in detail. Okay, now additional information I am also going to tell you to follow it positively and properly and securely. First of all, you have to take one pen and one notebook, and then you have to sit at your location properly, positively and safely, and then you write all informations which will be written by me on the blackboard, and also data which are spoken by me, that those information will enhance you in your future. Okay students, so you follow it positively. Now I am going to start it clearly. Okay, now this is the class 11 physics, that is in English medium and also in Hindi medium. First of all, I will explain all information in Hindi English medium, and then I will translate all this information in English into Hindi medium. So I will translate all information in Hindi medium. Okay, so students who are reading in Hindi medium, that is in UP board, those can also understand these informations clearly. Okay, so here I am saying this is the class 11 physics, and it is also based on NCERT pattern. So you have to follow it clearly, because in NCERT pattern only information will be given and only some numericals will be given on those concepts. Okay, now the chapter name is motion in a plane, that is also is speaking in Hindi, that is समतल में गति, that is this is the chapter number 4. I will explain clearly that is in geometrical method, so you will understand it clearly. Now in this chapter, first of all I have to explain about the position vector, that is position vector. Okay students, so you take its advantage. Now position vector, it is also known as state service. State, here I write state service is 30 service is 30 service. Okay, this is the position vector and it is written in Hindi is 30 service. Okay, now here I will draw a plane. That plane is obtained with the help of two perpendicular lines. One line I will say that is the x-axis, and other line I will say the y-axis. The intersection of these two lines I will say the origin, and the coordinate of origin will be 0, 0. Okay, so that those concepts I am going to draw here. Now here I am drawing a line which is parallel to the ground axis. That axis, ground axis, that is horizontal. A line which is parallel to the ground axis, that axis I will say that is the x-axis. A line which is parallel to ground axis या horizontal axis. A line which is parallel to horizontal axis, I will say that is the x-axis. Now second line I will draw. That line will be such that that line will be perpendicular to the x-axis. So I will draw a line which is perpendicular to on x-axis, and that line I will say that is the y-axis. So here I will write clearly. One is the x-axis and other is the y-axis. Now the intersection of these two axes, I will say that is the origin, and its coordinate will be 0, 0. Now origin is started with origin. It started with O. So I am putting here O, not 0. But here coordinate will be 0. Means the value of abscissa is 0 and the value of coordinate is also 0. It means that the value of x is 0 and the value of y is 0 also everything there. Okay. Now here I have to explain about the position vector. That is also written in Hindi, that is space. In this case I will take a point in the xy plane, that is in the xy coordinate. In other words, I will say this is the first quadrant, this is second quadrant, and this is the third quadrant, and this is the fourth quadrant. Now I will take any point in anywhere, either in first, second, third, fourth quadrant, or in x-axis or in y-axis. I can take. Now here I am considering a point P. A point I am going to say here, this is the P. Now any point has coordinate x, y. Any point that is written in the form of x, y. X is the length of the abscissa from the point P, and y is the also ordinate from the point P. Therefore, any point is written in the form of x, y. Any point in the x, y plane is written in this form x, y. Therefore, here I will write the coordinate of the point x, that will be x, y. This is important. Each and every student has to focus on it, because any point which is written in any quadrant, that is in first quadrant, yes, second quadrant, or third quadrant, or fourth quadrant, are on the x-axis, on the positive x-axis, are on the negative x-axis, are on the positive y-axis, are on the negative y-axis, are at the origin. So any point can be written in this form x, y, that is I will write here x, y. So what is its geometrical meaning? It means that I will draw perpendicular from the point P to the x-axis. I will say this length I will say that is the ordinate, that is the y. From this point to this point I will say this is the length, and this length will be y, and y is also called ordinate. Y is also called ordinate. Now I will draw a perpendicular from the y-axis. I will draw a line which is perpendicular to the y-axis. So I will say this is the length. This is the length x. This is the length x from this point. From this point to this line, I will say this is the length x. This is the length x. It means that here I am going to explain its geometrical meaning. Now any point that is written in the form of x, y, x is also known as abscissa, and y is also known as coordinate. So point P is written, so point P has coordinate x, y, and x is the length from the point P to the line from the y-axis. So this length is x, and I will draw a line which is perpendicular on x-axis from the point P. So that distance I will calculate as ordinate, and the value of ordinate is y. So this line and this line, here I will say this is the perpendicular m, and here perpendicular will be m. So here I will say this is the perpendicular m. So I will say, student, you concentrate here. I am going to write what is information. Now length PL, PN, which is equal to MO, So length PN I have considered here yes. So length MO will be yes, yeah, OM will be yes. So this length will be equal to this length. So I will say this length is also x, because both lines are parallel to each other. So I will say, so this, from this point to this line I will say x, because this line and this lines are parallel to each other. In other words, here I will write PL. PL line is parallel to OM या MO. So according to this concept, I will say this length is equal to this length, and this length will be equal to this length. Other information I will also write PM, which is equal to MO. So PM is y, so MO will be y. So this length NO, which will be equal to PM. So both lines will be equal to each other. It means that PM line is parallel to PMO line. So these two lines are parallel to each other. It means that I will say the length PMO, which is equal to x, and length PMO, which is equal to y. So we have to write this position vector, this position point in the form of vector. So we have to move from the point origin to the point M along this line. So I will say this is a vector OM, and from M point to I will move at the point P. From M point to I will move point P. So I will add vector length. This is the coefficient of x, and this will be the coefficient of y. This is now here along the x-axis I will consider a vector I cap. This is the unit vector, and along y-axis I will consider the unit vector j cap. So this vector I can obtain with the help of these two axes. One axis is the x-axis and other axis is y-axis. So I will write OP. I will say this is the vector, and this vector can be obtained with the help of from point O to M and M to P. Means one particle which is moving from point origin to point M and from point M to P. So I will get the position vector R. So I will say this is the position. OP is the position vector. Here I will write OP is the position vector, and that position vector can be obtained by using vector R. Vector R, which is equal to, I will write x, and along the x-axis I will say that is the vector I cap. That is the vector I cap, and then from M to P I will move. So coefficient of vector j will be y into j cap. So this is the required position vector, and this position vector are very I have written here. Okay, so positively you know it, and also if any vector which is going from origin, so that vector I will say that is the position vector. So length OP, so length OP I will take its magnitude, but vector is represented OP, which is equal to position vector, and that position vector can be written as vector R, which is equal to x into vector I plus y into vector j. It means that one particle which is moving from point O to M and then from M to P. So I have taken the unit vector along the x-axis. I have considered here vector I cap, and along the y-axis I have considered here vector j. Now vector R, which is equal to coefficient of vector I cap plus coefficient of vector j cap. That is the position vector. So according to this way I can calculate the position vector in the xy plane. Okay student, now if any plane which is available, so I will draw that plane. I will divide that plane into 4 parts, because I will draw a line which is parallel to the horizontal line. I will say that is the x-axis, and a line I will draw which is perpendicular to the x-axis. I will say that is the y-axis. Now the intersection of x-axis and y-axis I will find the origin. That is one point, that is origin is written with O. So its coordinate will be 0, because I have already explained with you the the any point can be written in the form of x comma y. So I have written here x comma y. It means that the value of x is also 0 and the value of y is also 0. Means abscissa has value also 0 and ordinate has value of also 0. So I have to use this concept for finding the position vector. Okay. So all the information I will translate into in Hindi. So student who are reading in Hindi medium, so those student can also understand this concept easily. Okay student, now यहाँ पर कहा गया है कि यह क्लास 11 का मैथमेटिक्स है, न्यू चैप्टर है जिसका नाम जो न्यू चैप्टर इस नया लेसन है जिसका नाम जो है फोर्थ है। इस चैप्टर का नाम है समतल में गत। अब समतल में गत दो तरह का होता है, एक प्रक्षेपीय गत हो सकता है, दूसरा जो है वृत्तीय गत होगा। एक प्रक्षेपीय गत का मतलब अगर किसी भी पार्टिकल को जो काम फेंकते हैं तो पैरेलल में वो जाकर मूव करता है, पैरेलल में जाकर मूव करता है। दूसरा जो का पार्टिकल जो होता है एक सर्कुलर मोशन में मूव करता है। इस तरह के मोशन को जो है इस तरह का मोशन को वृत्तीय गत करते हैं। इस तरह के जो पार्टिकल जो का मूव करता है उसको जो होता है हम प्रक्षेपीय गत करते हैं। प्रक्षेपीय या प्रोजेक्टाइल मोशन करते हैं, इसको प्रोजेक्टाइल मोशन करते हैं, इसको सर्कुलर मोशन करते हैं। इन दोनों कंसेप्ट को इस चैप्टर में स्टडी करना है। इसमें जो बेसिक कंसेप्ट है उन बेसिक कंसेप्ट को एक्सप्लेन करेंगे। एक्सप्लेन करने के बाद से उसको डिटेल में डिस्क्राइब करेंगे। ओके, ये पोजीशन वेक्टर को लेकर हम इसके सदिश के नाम से जानते हैं और इसके सदिश के नाम से जानते हैं तो हम एक्स वाई प्लेन को जो होता है चार पार्टों में डिवाइड किए। एक एक्सिस को जो होता है एक्स एक्सिस हॉरिजॉन्टल एक्सिस के समांतर लिया है जो जिसको एक्स एक्सिस करते हैं और एक एक्सिस को लिया है जो एक लाइन को ड्रॉ की है। वो लाइन जो होता है एक्स एक्सिस को परपेंडिकुलर है। जो लाइन परपेंडिकुलर होता है इसका मतलब दोनों लाइन के बीच का एंगल कितना डिग्री होता है 90 डिग्री। जब दो लाइन के बीच के डिग्री 90 डिग्री होता है तो उसमें कहते हैं वो दोनों लाइन एक दूसरे पे क्या है परपेंडिकुलर है, लंबवत है। तो वाई एक्सिस एक्स का लंबवत है, एक्स एक्सिस वाई तो वाई एक्सिस को जो वेक्टर लाइन होता है उसको वाई एक्सिस करते हैं, उसके अलाउंग विद द यूनिट वेक्टर को दे लिया है और एक्स एक्सिस के अलाउंग विद द यूनिट वेक्टर को आई लिया है। अब हम जानते हैं किसी पॉइंट को एक्स वाई के रूप में रिप्रेजेंट किया जाता है। तो हम एक पॉइंट पी लिए हैं, उसका कोऑर्डिनेट एक्स वाई लिया है। अब हम देखें कि इस पॉइंट से जो होता है परपेंडिकुलर डालते हैं एक्स एक्सिस पर, ये लेंथ जो होता है ये दूरी जो होता है वाई होता है जिसको कोऑर्डिनेट के नाम से जानते हैं। और इस पॉइंट से जो होता है जब एक्स एक्सिस वाई एक्सिस पर परपेंडिकुलर डालते हैं उस लेंथ को जो होता है हम एक्स से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं और एक्स का मीनिंग होता है एब्ससिसा। तो हम जानते हैं कि ई एन जो लाइन है और एम वो लाइन है, वो दोनों लाइन क्या है पैरेलल है। पैरेलल को मतलब समांतर है। इसका मीनिंग यह होगा कि जितना लेंथ यह होगा उतना ही लेंथ यह होगा। यह लेंथ एक्स है तो इसका मीनिंग यह होगा एम की लेंथ क्या होगा एक्स होगा। इसलिए एम से ओ का लेंथ को हमने एक्स से रिप्रेजेंट किया होगा। उसी तरीके से जब हम की पॉइंट से जो होता है एक्स एक्सिस पर परपेंडिकुलर डाल हैं जिसकी लेंथ को वाई होता है, वाई का मीनिंग यह होता है ऑर्डिनेट होता है। इसलिए पी एम लाइन और एन ओ लाइन दोनों क्या है पैरेलल है। पैरेलल मतलब समांतर, इसका मतलब ये दोनों लेंथ जो होता है इक्वल होगा, इसलिए एन ओ का वैल्यू जो होता है वाई के बराबर होगा। अब यहाँ पर कहा गया है कि पोजीशन वेक्टर का हिंदी होता है स्थित सदिश। स्थित सदिश को लिखने के लिए हम क्या करेंगे कि उस स्थित सदिश को लिखेंगे जब कोई भी वस्तु जो होता है पॉइंट ओ से जो होता है मूव करता है तो एम तक पहुँचता है। एम से मूव करते मतलब गति करके जो होता है पी तक पहुँचता है। तो ओ से एम पर गया, एम से पी पर गया, इसका मतलब इसका मीनिंग यह हुआ ओ से पी पर गया। इसलिए इसको जो होता है हम इसी सदिश के नाम से जानते हैं। तो ओ पी जो होता है वेक्टर इस एक्स एक्सिस के अलावा वेक्टर आई के लिए है और एक्स जो होता है इसका गुणांक होता है। गुणांक मतलब कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ वेक्टर आई के होता है। तो इसको वेक्टर आर को हम रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं वेक्टर आई का और इसका कोएफिशिएंट गुणांक जो होता है एक्स देंगे। उसी तरीके से प्लस करेंगे यहाँ से वाई एक्सिस की डायरेक्शन में मूव करेंगे, डायरेक्शन ऑफ वेक्टर आई जे का लिए है और इसका गुणांक जो होता है कोएफिशिएंट वाई है तो वाई होती है। तो इस तरीके से अगर वेक्टर को रिप्रेजेंट करते वेक्टर आर जो होता है एक्स इंटू वेक्टर आई के प्लस वाई इंटू वेक्टर जे का है। इसका मीनिंग यह हुआ कि यह एक पोजीशन वेक्टर होता है। पोजीशन वेक्टर का मीनिंग यह होता है कि जब कोई भी वेक्टर जो होता है अगर ओरिजिन से पास होता है तो उस वेक्टर को हम पोजीशन वेक्टर के नाम से जानेंगे। इसलिए पोजीशन वेक्टर या इसके सदिश को हम इस फॉर्म में लिख सकते हैं वेक्टर आर इज इक्वल टू एक्स आई प्लस वाई वेक्टर जे। तो इस तरीके से पोजीशन वेक्टर को हम इस तरीके से लिखेंगे। अगर किसी तरीके का डाउट है तो उस डाउट को जो होता है आप कमेंट सेक्शन में टाइप करें, दैट इज अपने क्वेरी को उसमें राइट करें, राइट करने के बाद से सेंड करें, उसको हम पॉजिटिवली ऑब्जर्व करेंगे। ऑब्जर्व करने के बाद से उस क्वेश्चन का आंसर जो होता है एप्रोप्रिएट आंसर प्रोवाइड करेंगे। ओके स्टूडेंट, अगर ये सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन आपको अच्छे से समझ में आ रहा है तो इस वीडियो को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लाइक करें, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा शेयर करें और अपने कलीग्स के साथ, अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ और विद्यार्थी दैट स्टूडेंटों के साथ, ताकि उनका भी नॉलेज जो होता है इस पॉइंट को अपडेट और डेवलप हो सके। और इस वीडियो को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा सब्सक्राइब भी करें। ओके, नाउ इस तरीके से हमने पोजीशन वेक्टर को एक्सप्लेन किया। पोजीशन वेक्टर को हम स्थित सदिश के नाम से जानते हैं, स्थित सदिश के नाम से जानते हैं। उस स्थित सदिश को देखकर आर इज इक्वल टू एक्स इंटू वेक्टर आई कैप प्लस वाई इंटू वेक्टर जे कैप। इसका मीनिंग यह है एक्स एक्सिस के डायरेक्शन में जो यहाँ पर गुणांक है एक्स जो होता है गुणांक एक्स एक्सिस के डायरेक्शन में यह गुणांक है, एक्स गुणांक है, और वाई एक्सिस के डायरेक्शन में वाई गुणांक है। ओके, और इंग्लिश में इसको कोफिशिएंट के नाम से जानते हैं। एक्स इज द कोफिशिएंट ऑफ वेक्टर आई कैप एंड जे इज द कोफिशिएंट ऑफ वेक्टर जे कैप। ओके, वाई इज द कोफिशिएंट ऑफ आल्सो वेक्टर जे कैप। सो these are the information and you have to know it positively. Okay, now फर्स्ट पॉइंट जो था हमने एक्सप्लेन किया। इसके बाद से एक्सप्लेन करने के बाद से हम एक्सप्लेन ये भी करेंगे कि अगर ये पोजीशन वेक्टर हम जानते हैं तो हम विस्थापन सदिश को भी कैसे जानेंगे, डिस्प्लेसमेंट वेक्टर को भी कैसे जानेंगे। अगर डिस्प्लेसमेंट वेक्टर मिला है तो उस डिस्प्लेसमेंट वेक्टर को कैसे कैलकुलेट करेंगे। सपोज कि दो पोजीशन वेक्टर दिया जाएगा तो हमको डिस्प्लेसमेंट वेक्टर दैट इज विस्थापन सदिश कहा जाएगा। कैलकुलेट करने के लिए इसी कंसेप्ट को यूज करके हम उस डिस्प्लेसमेंट सदिश को भी हम कैलकुलेट करेंगे, डिस्प्लेसमेंट वेक्टर को भी कैलकुलेट करेंगे। ओके स्टूडेंट, आई होप दैट यू आर डूइंग वेरी वेल। सो यू लाइक दिस लाइव वीडियो एंड ऑल्सो यू शेयर this live video with your colleagues, friends and students so that they can also improve their knowledge on this topic. So positively I am going to erase, and after erasing I will explain about the concept of displacement vector, that is विस्थापन सदिश. Okay, you follow it positively. Now second point I will explain here, displacement vector. This here ACE MENT displacement vector. Here I have to write displacement vector, that is विस्थापन सदिश. This on सदिश. Here I will explain about the concept of विस्थापन सदिश. Okay, so in the case of विस्थापन सदिश I will also follow the same coordinate frame, that is xy frame. I will also again draw, and I will take here 2 points, and after taking 2 points I will calculate the displacement vector. Okay, so here I will draw a line which is parallel to the horizontal line, and I will say this line is the x-axis. So here I will put cell. Now again I will draw a line which is perpendicular to x-axis. It means that line is called y-axis. That line is called y-axis. Now here I have to take in the position vector I have taken only one single point, but here I will take 2 points. So every point can be written in the form of x comma y. Now I will take 2 points. One point is A. I will say its coordinate will be x1 comma y1, and other point is B. So I will say its coordinate will be x2 comma y2. This is general coordinate. This is the general coordinate point, but this will be particular coordinate point at a particular point. So I will say here one point I will say this is A, and its coordinate is x1 comma y1, and other point I will take here, that point is B. So its coordinate will be x2 comma y2. Now I will draw these 2 points. I will draw these 2 points from the origin, and origin has coordinate 0 comma 0. Now positively you follow it. Now point A I am going to draw with origin. So I will say this is the position vector whose name is R1, and similarly I will say point B is also I am drawing with vector R2. With vector R2. Now vector is written also vector R, and this is likely, but boldly I will say this is the vector R. Both are equal to each other. If I will write boldly R, so that is also vector, and likely I will write, so I will put on the top arrow. Okay, so you have to follow it because both are same. Okay, so here I will say this is the point A, this is the point A, and this is the point B. Now from the point A, I will draw a line which is perpendicular to x-axis. So I will say this is the point M1. I will say this is the point M1, and I will draw a line which is perpendicular from the point A. I will say that line is also called. I will say that point that line is intersecting at the y-axis. I will say that is the point M1. Similarly, so this length will be y1. I will say this length is y1 according to previous concept, that is in position vector I have already used. So this will be x1. It means that this length will be x1. This length will be x1. So I have to write it properly. So this length is x1 and this length will be y1. Similarly, I will draw a line which is perpendicular to x-axis. So I will say its length is its intersection point is M2. So here I will write M2 properly. You see here this point is M2. Now this point is M1 and this point is M2. So if this length I will calculate, this length will be y2. Similarly, I will draw a line, and that line is perpendicular on the y-axis. So its intersection point I will say M2 because M1 I have taken. So its point I will write here M2. Now this is the y-axis, so I have written that net y-axis. Okay. Now here this is the y-axis I have written. So this point is N1. So this length is x2. Okay, this length is x2. It means that I will draw a line from the point M2 and which is parallel to the y-axis. So this length I will calculate. This length will be x2. This length will be x2. Similarly, this length I will calculate. This length I will calculate. This length will be x2 minus x1. So I will draw a line from the point M1. And this line I will extend. After extending, I will say this is the line x2 minus x1. So here I will write this is the x2 minus x1. I have to write positively. So this is the x2. This is the x2 minus x1. Similarly, this length I will calculate. This length will be also y2 minus y1. So I will consider this will be y2 minus y. This will be y2 minus y1. So I will write this value in bracket. So from this point I will consider. So this length I have calculated x2 minus x1, and this length I have calculated here y2 minus y1. So again I will draw, extend this line. So from this line to this line, I will say this will be y2 minus y1. So we have to find its position vector. So I will draw from point A to B. I will draw the point A to B. So I will get this vector. So this vector I will say that is R. That vector is R. I have written. So this length is I have calculated x2 minus x1, and this length is equal to this length. So that is y2 minus y1. So I will write position vector same. So this vector is equal to the coefficient of this length along the x-axis. I will write vector I cap, and coefficient of the coefficient of vector I cap I will take x2 minus x1 and plus, and then I will also move from this point to from this point to this point. I will say this point is also I will say this point is J. So I will write this point is J. From J to D I will move. So from J to P, that is the y2 minus y1. Okay. So that concept I will use. So here I will erase, and after erasing I will consider. So this point is J. So I will say, and this point is J. So I have written here properly. So each and every student can understand these informations clearly. This is the y2 and this is the point J I have taken. So I will consider triangle. In triangle, in right angle triangle, in right angle triangle, in right angle triangle, in right angle triangle AZB, in right angle triangle AZB. I put like this, in right angle triangle AZB. So I will say vector R. So I will say I will say AB vector, which is equal to AZ vector plus ZB vector. Okay, so we have to get the value of vector R. So AB vector I will write here vector R cap, which is equal to here in the vector AJ. So the length of AJ, I have calculated x2 minus x1. So here I have to write positively x2 minus x1. I will put it in bracket now. Along the x-axis I will take unit vector, that is vector I cap. Now ZB. Here I have written ZB. Now ZB is length y2 minus y1. Here I have written y2 minus y1. So its value ZB I have to write here y2 minus y1. So I will write y2 minus y1, and along this I will consider vector y cap, because along z axis I have to take unit vector J, and along the x-axis I have to consider vector I. Along x axis I have to consider vector I, and also along y-axis I have to take unit vector J. So here I will put positively vector J cap. So here vector J cap I have to put here. Okay, so here vector J cap I have to put. So this is the displacement vector. I have got vector R, which is equal to x2 minus x1 vector I cap, y2 minus y1 vector J cap. In other words, we can say that this is the distance between 2 points, that is x2 minus x1. I will say this is the delta x into vector I cap. I will write like this, and again here plus I will take everything, and then here y2 minus y1. It means that change in y. It means that I will write delta y, and along this axis I have to take vector J cap. So position vector can be also written this or this. So each and every student has to remember if 2 points will be given in the xy plane. So we have to write position vector y2 x2 minus x1 into vector I cap plus y2 minus y1 vector J cap, and that is also written in another way, because this is the change in distance, that is x2 minus x1. I can write delta change in x, that is delta x into vector I cap plus, here plus is given, so I have to there plus sign, and then y2 minus y I have to write here delta y. I will write there delta y and vector J. So this is also the symbol of displacement vector. In other words, we can say that Viस्थापन vector. If anyone will say you write Viस्थापन vector, so this vector and this vector will be considered. Okay, students, so you have to follow it positively. So displacement vector can be obtained by this way. Okay, now all this information I will translate into Hindi, so students who are reading in Hindi medium, those students can also understand easily. Okay, that is in YouTube, those students can also understand these information in easily. So here displacement vector is also written as विस्थापन सदिश। विस्थापन सदिश में कहा क्या है कि हम एक एक्स वाई प्लेन लेंगे, एक्स वाई प्लेन लेने के बाद में उसमें दो पॉइंट को कंसीडर करेंगे। हम ऑलरेडी जानते हैं दो पॉइंट को जो होता है एक्स कमा वाई के फॉर्म में लिखा जाता है। तो यहाँ पर दो पॉइंट है, एक पॉइंट ए है, दूसरा पॉइंट बी है। तो एक पॉइंट को एक्स को कमा वाई में, दूसरे पॉइंट को एक्स को कमा वाई के लिए है। अब पॉइंट ए से जो होता है एक्स एक्सिस पर परपेंडिकुलर डाले, यह लेंथ कितना होगा y1 होगा। और पॉइंट ए से जो होता है y एक्सिस पर परपेंडिकुलर डाले, ये लेंथ x1 होगा। हम जानते हैं n1 और n1 ए जो लाइन है और o और m1 लाइन है, दोनों लाइन पैरेलल किस है। इसका मीनिंग ये होगा कि जब दो लाइन पैरेलल होता है तो परपेंडिकुलर डिस्टेंस क्या होते हैं, बराबर होते हैं। तो ये लेंथ होता है इस लेंथ के बराबर होगा। उसी तरीके से इस पॉइंट से हमने परपेंडिकुलर डाला एक्स एक्सिस पर, इस लेंथ को y2 कहा। और इस पॉइंट से जो होता है y एक्सिस पर परपेंडिकुलर डाला, यहाँ पर x को ऑरिजिनेट जो होता है x2 है तो x2 होगा। उसी तरीके से b n2 लाइन और n2 वो लाइन जो होता है पैरेलल टू ईच अदर, इसलिए ए एंगल बिटवीन दो लाइन के बीच में जो दो पैरेलल लाइन के बीच में दो समांतर पैरेलल मीनिंग होता है समांतर, दो समांतर लाइन के बीच में डिस्टेंस जो होते हैं बराबर होते हैं। जितना डिस्टेंस ये होगा उतना ही डिस्टेंस यह होगा। ओके, उसी तरीके से हम कहेंगे कि यह लाइन और यह लाइन मीन्स n2 और n2 ओ लाइन और b n2 लाइन, ये दोनों लाइन क्या है, समांतर। समांतर मतलब पैरेलल है, इसलिए ये दोनों लाइन पैरेलल होते हैं तो ये डिस्टेंस बराबर होंगे। और अगर ओ n2 लाइन और n2 b लाइन पैरेलल होगा तो हम देखेंगे कि यहाँ से ये डिस्टेंस y2 है। तो अगर एक डिस्टेंस कैलकुलेट करना है तो टोटल डिस्टेंस y2 है और यहाँ से ये डिस्टेंस y1 है। तो इस डिस्टेंस को कैलकुलेट करना है तो y2 माइनस y1 हो जाएगा। ओके, अब हम देख रहे हैं कि यहाँ से ये डिस्टेंस जो होता है x2 माइनस x1 है और ये डिस्टेंस y2 माइनस y1 है। अगर कोई भी वस्तु होता है इस पॉइंट ए से जो होता है ये जेड पॉइंट हो जाएगा और जेड पॉइंट से दिस पॉइंट हो जाएगा। तो इसको वेक्टर के रूप में लिखेंगे तो ये वेक्टर यह जो एक्स एक्सिस के अलावा है तो यूनिट वेक्टर हम आई लेंगे। ऐसे गुणांक जो होता है गुणांक मतलब तो किसी को x2 माइनस x1 कहेंगे, x2 माइनस x1 वेक्टर आई क्या और पॉइंट जेड से बी पॉइंट में जाएगा तो जेड से बी का जो मैग्नीट्यूड है y2 माइनस y1 है। मीन्स जेड से बी की जो दूरी होता है वो y2 माइनस y1 है। इसको वेक्टर के फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट करना है तो y2 माइनस y1 वेक्टर जे लिखेंगे क्योंकि जे वेक्टर जो होता है वो y एक्सिस के अलाउंग है। तो यह वेक्टर प्लस यह वेक्टर बराबर होगा ए बी वेक्टर। और ए बी वेक्टर को हमने R2 वेक्टर ए बी वेक्टर को हमने R वेक्टर के नाम से रिप्रेजेंट किया है। इसलिए R वेक्टर जो होता है R2 माइनस R1 होगा। R2 माइनस R1 हम वेक्टर R1 के वैल्यू को रखें, वेक्टर R2 के वैल्यू को रखें, सिंप्लीफाई किए तो हमको ये वेक्टर R जो होता है x2 माइनस x1 वेक्टर I पर प्लस y2 माइनस y1 वेक्टर j का मिला। और इसको और सिंप्लीफाई किए तो यहाँ पर हम चेंज इन x1 है इसलिए डेल्टा x लिखे, चेंज इन y1 इसलिए डेल्टा y लिखे, ताकि हमारा एक्सप्रेशन जो होता है छोटा रहेगा, ताकि हम उसको इजीली रिमेंबर कर सकते हैं, लर्न कर सकते हैं, दैट इज याद कर सकते हैं। ओके स्टूडेंट, सो यू हैव टू फॉलो इट पॉजिटिवली। ओके, इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट सो यू राइट योर कमेंट या डाउट इन द comment section and positively I will observe after observing positively I will give the answer of your question in detail. Okay, so simultaneously if you are understanding very well so you like this live video and also you share this live video with your colleagues and students so that they can also improve their knowledge on this topic, and simultaneously you also subscribe this educational channel. Okay, so each and every concept of the class 11 phases I will explain in detail. Okay, now positively I will erase it, and after erasing next point of this chapter I will explain, that is the Big service. Big service means velocity vector. We have to also explain the concept of velocity vector because if any particle which is moving from point A to B, so I will consider the velocity vector, that is the average velocity vector. I will also calculate there. Okay. I hope that you are understanding very well. Okay. Now here one additional information I am also going to say you, if anyone will say what is the magnitude of this position vector. So we have to get the magnitude of this position vector and also calculating here. Okay. if one question will be asked, what will be the distance? What will be the distance of this position vector? I will say distance AB, vector AB magnitude which is equal to vector R magnitude, which is equal to, I will write in the square root, delta x whole square plus delta y whole square. We have to write it clearly, because here if any vector is given, so we have to take its magnitude, the coefficient of vector I cat square, coefficient of vector j cat square, and it three dimensional, because this is a 2D, that is two dimensional analysis, that is 2D. This is the two dimensional analysis. These two term will be there, and with 3D, so z component will also be added, that is the vector along the z axis I will also add. So here there is two component, one component is along the x axis and another is along the y axis, and along the z axis is not available here, because I am explaining here 2D, not 3D. If I will explain about 3D, so z component I will also add here. Okay, now here next information I will also put the value of delta x. Delta x is also written here x2 minus x1. So here I will write x2 minus x1 whole square, and then I will put here y2 minus y1 whole square. So here I will put y2 minus y1 whole square. So this is also the length from the point A to B, and this is also length, and that length I can write like this, vector AB magnitude, या magnitude of the vector R. So this is the formula, and this formula I have to remember, okay, because we have to find the position vector, and after finding the position vector we have to also calculate the magnitude of that position vector. So magnitude can be calculated by this way, because here I have calculated position vector, and after calculating displacement vector, and after calculating displacement vector, I will use this appropriate formula for getting the magnitude of the displacement vector. Okay student, I hope that you are knowing very well. If you are understanding very well, so you like this live video, and also you share this live video with your colleagues, friends and students, so that they can also update and develop their knowledge on this topic. Okay, and if you are understanding very well, so you also subscribe this educational channel more and more. Okay student, so now I will erase it, and after erasing I will explain next concept, that is the velocity vector. In other words, we can also say that is the wave surface. So firstly I am going to erase, and after erasing I will explain next topic, that is the velocity vector. So each and every topic of the motion in the plane I will explain, and after explaining I will define the projectile and circular motion. Okay, so now next point, that is the point 3, that is the velocity vector, that is also known as wave surface. Here I will explain velocity vector of wave surface. Now here I have to write the position vector. So position vector, that is written OP. I will say that is a point, and that is written as vector R, and that is also written in the form of vector I cap, x vector I cap plus y vector j cap. This is the position vector, but we have to get displacement vector, that is vector AB, which is equal to, I have to write delta x vector I cap plus delta y vector j cap. So I will say this is the displacement vector. This displacement vector. This is the displacement vector. Now here I have to write the average velocity AB, that is also known as displacement. Displacement divided by time interval. Time interval. So displacement, this is the displacement vector I have to write here. Delta x vector I cap plus delta y vector j cap are divided by time interval, that is delta t. So average vector can be written by the formula displacement divided by time interval. Each and every students are doing it clearly. If students who are not doing so, write your information in the comment section. Possibly I will see, I will read, I will understand, and then I will explain the solution of your question in detail. Okay. So average vector, average velocity is equal to displacement divided by time interval. Displacement can be written by this way because displacement has a direction. So AB has a direction, that is written delta x into delta I cap plus delta j y into delta y into delta j cap. So this is also known as displacement vector. So in the place of displacement I have to write, and time interval I have to write delta t. Okay. Further I will use this concept. I will write delta x divided delta t. Delta x divided by delta t I have to write, and then along this I will write unit vector delta I. Similarly, I will say delta t is divided in second term, that is written delta y is divided by delta t. Delta y divided by delta t, and along this I will write unit vector j. Okay. So average vector which is equal to delta x divided by delta t into delta I cap plus delta y divided by delta t into j cap. So this is the average vector. Okay. Average velocity. Now average velocity has a time. One is the velocity and other is the speed. What is the difference between speed and velocity? Because in the case of speed only distance is taken, but in the case of velocity displacement is taken, because displacement has direction and magnitude both, but velocity speed has only magnitude but no specific direction. Okay. Now speed and velocity both has same unit, that unit is meter per second. Okay. Now in other words we can say that displacement velocity has formula displacement divided by time, but speed has formula distance divided by time. So I have to use this concept in detail part, knowing its meaning clear. Okay. Now average velocity which is equal to dx but dt means distance but time, that is known as velocity distance, that is displacement because it has direction. So displacement but time, that is known as velocity. So I will write dx, and dy but dt, that is also velocity along the y-axis. I will write there dy into vector j cap. Okay. So every vector can be written according to that way. Okay. Now table data I will eliminate. After eliminating I will translate all information in Hindi. Okay. So each and every student who are reading in Hindi medium, so those students can easily understand it. Okay. Now first of all I am going to translate all the information in Hindi. So I will explain the information in Hindi. यहाँ पर कहा गया वेलोसिटी वेक्टर का हिंदी वेक्टर वेग सदिश होता है. इसमें हम जानते हैं कि अगर पोजीशन वेक्टर मीन्स पोजीशन वेक्टर की स्थिति सदिश को अगर हम लिखना चाहते हैं तो वेक्टर आने के लिए तो एक्स एक्सिस के अलाउंग जो होता है वेक्टर आई कंसीडर करते हैं, और उसके अलाउंग जो होता है जो गुणांक है उस गुणांक को एक्स लिखते हैं. एक्स वेक्टर आई के प्लस वाई वेक्टर जे का जे एक्सिस के अलाउंग जो होता है वाई वेक्टर जे का गुणांक है. उसी तरीके से अगर हम पोजीशन वेक्टर को लिखना चाहते हैं, पोजीशन वेक्टर को ए बी से लिखते हैं डेल्टा एक्स वेक्टर आई का प्लस डेल्टा वाई वेक्टर जे का. ऑलरेडी हम पोजीशन वेक्टर को एक्सप्लेन कर रहे थे, तो यह वेक्टर जो होता है वहाँ पर फाइंड आउट किए थे. इसलिए इसको पोजीशन वेक्टर को हमेशा हमको रिमेंबर करके रखना है. ओके. हम जानते हैं कि जो औसत चाल होता है, औसत चाल होता है वह औसत वेग, यहाँ औसत चाल भी औसत वेग है। औसत वेग में जो डायरेक्शन होता है, इसलिए डायरेक्शन होता है, इसलिए करें वो डिस्प्लेसमेंट बटे टाइम इंटरवल। डिस्प्लेसमेंट को हिंदी में विस्थापन करते हैं, टाइम इंटरवल को समय कहते हैं। तो विस्थापन बटे समय, ऑलरेडी जो इस विस्थापन को, ये विस्थापन सदिश हमने लिखा है। इस विस्थापन सदिश को जो होता है तो यहाँ पर लिखेंगे डेल्टा एक्स इंटू डेल्टा आई कैप प्लस डेल्टा वाई इंटू डेल्टा जी कैप, और इसमें जो है टाइम से डिवाइड डेल्टा टी से डिवाइड करेंगे। अब हम सेपरेटली यहाँ पर दो टर्म है, एक टर्म जो है डेल्टा एक्स इंटू आई है, दूसरा टर्म डेल्टा वाई इंटू जे है, डेल्टा जे टाइप यूनिट डेल्टा जे कहते हैं। प्रत्येक टर्म जो होता है डेल्टा टी से डिवाइड करें, डिवाइड करने के बाद से हम पाएंगे डेल्टा एक्स बटे डेल्टा टी डेल्टा आई कैप प्लस डेल्टा वाई बटे डेल्टा टी डेल्टा जे कैप। अब हम देखेंगे कि यहाँ पर डिस्टेंस बटे टाइम जो होता है और उसके साथ डायरेक्शन होता है, तो वो डिस्टेंस नहीं डिस्प्लेसमेंट बटे टाइम होगा। इसका मतलब यह एक वेग होता है, वह वेग जो होता है यहाँ पर एक्स एक्सिस के अमाउंट है, इसलिए जी एक्स से रिप्रेजेंट करेंगे। उसी तरीके से ये डिस्टेंस बटे टाइम, ये भी जो होता है वह डिस्टेंस, चूँकि ये डिस्टेंस बटे टाइम ये भी डायरेक्शन को कंसीडर करता है, रखता है, इसलिए कहेंगे कि डेल्टा वाई बटे डेल्टा डी वह एक वेलोसिटी होता है, वह एक वेग होता है, तो वह वेग होता है वाई एक्सिस के डायरेक्शन में हो। ओके, तो इस एवरेज वेग को हम पॉजिटिवली जो होता है वेक्टर के फॉर्म में रिप्रेजेंट करेंगे, क्योंकि हमने वेलोसिटी वेक्टर या वेग सदिश पढ़ रहा है, तो उस वेग सदिश को जो होता है हम किसी पॉइंट के रिस्पेक्ट में जो होता है उसको लिख कर रखेंगे। ओके, so positively I am going to erase every information, and after erasing every information I will write this is the average velocity, which is equal to I will write this is the displacement of the time because it has direction, so I will write here dx. This is also velocity, and this velocity along the x-axis, and along the x-axis I will consider here vector I cap. So I write here vector I cap. Similarly, this is the y, delta y vector delta t, that is also velocity because it has direction. So I write vector velocity vy. This is the velocity along y axis. So here I write vector j cap, and that will represent the direction of the y axis. Okay, so this is the average velocity, and that average velocity will be written like this. AB is written as average velocity, ABG. So here G I am going to also write. This is the average velocity, and this is also average velocity. For positively I am going to make a point in the rectangular box because we have to remember it, because average velocity which is equal to dx vector I cap plus dy vector j cap. Now further I will also get the direction of this average velocity. Okay, now further I will eliminate zero data, and after eliminating zero data I will also find the direction of this average velocity. Okay, because this average velocity has also direction, because if any vector is available in the form of a or boldly if anyone is writing vector a, and this is also representing vector a. Okay, because this is in bold form and this is in light form. Okay, now possibly I am going to erase it, and after erasing I will find the direction of the average vector. Okay, so direction of the average vector can also be tan theta, which is equal to perpendicular or perpendicular divided by base. So in this part the value of the coefficient of y is the value of perpendicular, and the value of the coefficient of vector I cap is the value of base. So I write here dx dy divided by dx, that is the value of tan theta. If in other words I will say that is tan theta, which is written dy divided by dx, dy tan theta is equal to dy divided by dx. Now we have to find the value of theta. That theta can be obtained by using this method. Now here I can write theta which is equal to, I will write tan inverse dy divided by dx, because here is no space, therefore I will write another place properly. Okay, so here I will write theta which is equal to tan inverse, I will write in the bracket dy divided by dx. So here I will write dy, so velocity along, this is the velocity along y axis and this is the velocity along the x axis, and I will take its value, and after taking its value, and then I will say the angle between vector dx vector I cap and also another vector that is the dy vector. So that angle I will get here, because if two vector will intersect at a point, so I will get 4 angle and two vertical opposite will be equal to each other. So one angle will be theta, so other angle I can obtain with the help of 180 degree minus theta in radian pi minus theta, and theta can be considered with the help of tan inverse dy divided by dx. Okay, so you have to remember the concept of three points which are available in motion in a plane. That is also available in chapter number 4 in Hindi, that is details समतल method. One is the position vector, that is the स्थिति सदिश, and second is the displacement vector, that is the विस्थापन सदिश, and third is the velocity vector, that is the वेग सदिश. So all these concept I have explained in detail. Okay, if you have any confusion or doubt or query, so you ask for writing in the comment section, and then you send me, and after looking I will give positively answer of your question. Okay, and if you are understanding very well, so you like this live video, and also you share this live video with your colleagues, friends and students, so that they can also improve, that is update and develop their knowledge on this topic, as you can subscribe this educational channel more and more. Okay, one additional information I am also going to tell you, you also follow positively, because this is free online classes and you have to take its advantage more and more. If any student who missed the any classes or any concept, so you go in my video section, that is RANA SIR UP KUSHINAGAR. You follow this ID and you search, and after searching you go in my playlist section, and there all data I have organized properly, safely and positively, and you read each and every concept in detail. That is class 10th mathematics, class 10th physics, class 11th mathematics, class 11th physics, and also class 12th mathematics and class 12th physics. All data I have organized, that is organized and also uploaded, and you have to take its positive advantage, because those data are available in both medium, that is in Hindi medium and also in English medium. So you take its advantage in detail. Okay, thank you for watching this live video. Now one other additional information I am also going to say you follow it positively, because always I will be online 30 minutes past to 7 p.m. to 8 30 minutes past to 8 p.m. Okay, you follow it positively, properly and safely. Thank you for watching this live video. Jai Hind, RANA SIR.